Hello and welcome to the month of Virgo. Virgo begins around the 22nd to the 23rd of August, depending on what year it is, until the 22nd of September, taking us up to the autumn equinox. Virgo is when the sun is passing through the sign of Virgo, so all that solar energy of our solar system is receiving and radiating the energies of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, often very badly written about because it's been taken away from the natural earth cycles. So you'll hear Virgo described as critical, analytical, OCD, that kind of thing. But it's much more than that, so let's take it back to basics. It's the second of the earth signs, and if we think, what does the earth do at this time of year? On the outside, exoteric astrology, we start to see that the earth is in its harvest phase. So Virgo is all to do with the abundance of the earth. It's the Gaia harvest energy. In the old days, at this time of year, people had to work together as a team, so we have a teamwork aspect come in with Virgo. They had a short window of time to gather in the harvest so that they could survive through the next cycle. And Virgo is also about these cycles of time, knowing when to plant and knowing when to reap. So Virgos have a healthy attitude towards food, nutrition and general health, exercise, and how to keep ourselves in shape and do the right thing at the right time. Once the harvest was gathered in with all that productivity and hard work and efficiency, it then needed to be allocated fairly. So you'll find this aspect of Virgo as well, the big picture and the small picture together, what needs to be done now, fairness for all. Let's allocate out the big pot of money or the big pot of abundance so that everybody gets their share, the smaller picture. Virgo's also about medicine, because it wasn't just food that the harvest made, but it was actually preserving some into the winter, so there's this preservation aspect, but also making some into medicine. So what we find with Virgo is many of them are good at herbalism and self-medication, all the awareness of the body and the food and the earth connection with our body, and how to actually keep all of our inner cycles healthy and rotating. Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac, and the sixth sign of the zodiac is all to do with teamwork, productivity, service, health, and love of the all, love of nature, love of being here and enjoying the abundance that we have around us and making the most of it. Virgo is also very good at teaching and nursing, because it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the communicator. If we look at the symbol of Mercury, you'll see two antennae at the top. This shows us that thoughts don't exist inside of our heads. Well, they're not created inside of our heads. They exist in thought forms outside of us. And it's what we draw down, it's what we tune into, process through the brain, and then manifest through the mouth and the hands. And French for hands is main, so manifest is literally bringing through the hands. So we have a magical property here with the Mercury element, which is one stage on from Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury. Gemini tends to be the communicator, and Virgo tends to be the doer, through the hands, through the practicality. So Mercury is the ruling planet, and it's all to do with the comprehension of the cycles of time and being able to tune into thought forms and make them into reality. So when we have the back to school feeling in September, this is still the one bit of the calendar that actually works. We have the teaching, we have the imparting of the information. If we go back to the harvest, they allocated fairly to all at the right time to last people through the cycles of time, and this is what teaching is. It's imparting all the different bits of knowledge to get the students to that gestation period of exams at the end and to fruition. So it's seeing the bigger picture and the smaller picture, and teaching what's necessary now in order to build and build and build to create something bigger and to harvest the results at the end. So we have teaching, nursing and communicating very strongly aspected with this sign. Esoterically, that's on the inside. We all have Virgo inside of us. We all have this love of nature. We all have this connection with time and with productivity. But the way to tune in more deeply is to look at some of the gods and goddesses who were principles. They were not to be worshipped as something separate. They're principles from inside of us. So I've mentioned Gaia, but really the goddess that goes with Virgo is the Virgin Mary, or before that Isis, or Aset as she was called in olden times. So this is the mother. You look at the symbol of Virgo, you see the M for mother or Mary, and then the child, the fish shape at the end. So this shows us that we've got a connection between Virgo and Pisces. Virgo is the mother and Pisces is the child. So this knowledge has been passed down through all the old texts, and we see it in a more recent text like the Bible, with the Christ-like fish figure being born of a virgin, which is Virgo. And also the bread and the fishes, because Virgo would have been taking the harvest and making it into bread, that productivity, and Pisces is the fish on the other side of the zodiac. So we never really look at Virgo without looking at Pisces as well. Always during the month of Virgo there is a full moon in Pisces, so this is when we really get to delve deep into that opposite. So the full moon comes along just when we've got used to all of the solar energies being in the sign of Virgo. The full moon comes along like a depth charge, completely opposite, because the full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon, and brings out all the Piscean energies for reflection. And the full moon is definitely a time for reflection, because it's the sun's light being fully reflected back to Earth from the moon's surface. So every year when the sun passes through the sign of Virgo, there'll be a full moon in Pisces. We get to see this axis in full effect. For me, I see Virgo like the left side of the brain, the rational, the practical, and the communicator. And then Pisces is more like the right side of the brain, which is the intuitive, the emotional, and the knowing of the extrasensory vibrations. So at the time of the full moon in Pisces, it's really good to balance those two hemispheres of your brain. Every time the sun passes through the sign of Virgo, there's also a new moon, and a new moon is when the sun and the moon are together. So the new moon will be in Virgo as well. And new moons are a more active time. There's a 2-week window opens up to actually attend to business, and we have the double energy of that sign, sun and moon. So the new moon during the Virgo phase is a really good time to get your plan ahead together. Don't forget, it's the sowing and the reaping. It's that 9-month gestation period. It's the school year. So what do you actually want to sow now that you can reap in 9 months to a year's time? What do you want your harvest to be? And what are you going to do step by step of the way to get that to fruition? But as we're talking esoterically, this is not all about making external plans. This is about doing your inner housework. Because we talk of spring cleaning, but there's also an autumn cleaning feeling. We need to go in before the dark months. We need to have a thorough cleanse. This is the sign of health and nutrition and service, but service to ourselves. So it's a really good time to actually go in and make plans on the inner level. What do you actually want to tidy up? What do you want to make more healthy? The word health, or holistic, health and whole are the same root words. So what do you want to do to make yourself more whole, and what are you going to attend to month by month to create something of a more holistic nature? So Virgo on the inside is actually esoterically ruled by the moon, and we see this again with the Aset, Isis or Mother Mary energy. You'll always notice that these figures wear blue and white, which is actually the feminine universe, the night sky, the feminine, and the white, which is the moon. So whenever you see women depicted in the blue and white, then we're looking at the esoteric knowledge that the moon actually rules Virgo as well as Mercury, and it is to do with that gestation and that bringing forth and that earth productivity from seed to completion. So to work with these energies, I feel that there are a certain amount of herbs and crystals that you can get involved with, but for Virgo all herbs are worth looking at, because this is a time to get in contact with your inner herbalist. But I would say if you're doing meditations, especially on the new moon, I would look at clary sage. Sage is wisdom and clary is clarity, so clarity and wisdom with this Mercury ruled sign of Virgo. And then on the full moon you could have a look at rosemary. Rosemary means mist of the sea, and Pisces is the sea, and the seas beyond our senses, the realms that we're not quite physically in contact with but that we can sense. So this is the Piscean energy that you can tune into there. For Virgo, I feel that clear quartz, again the clarity, as well as blue lace agate are very positive crystals. They show that's the blue and white, so we've got that mother universe and lunar correlation there as well, and agate literally means a gate, so it's a wonderful crystal to journey into in a meditation. And then for Pisces, I feel that selenite is a very positive crystal because it's such a high vibration. It energizes the higher parts of us, the spiritual, and connects us back with those other realms. So have a look at selenite on the Pisces full moon if you want to travel far and deep beyond colour, light, gravity and sound into the unknown realms of Pisces. So that's it for Virgo, and I'll see you next month.